You live behind your big fences so that you don't have to get to know us. You moved into our neighborhood. You can't ignore me anymore.
Hi, my name is Gerardo Velasquez, and I played Matt in Rich Kids.
You wanna be tough out of nowhere, huh? Come on, little bitch. Come on, little bitch.
Stop! Please! Bitch! Carlos, that's enough, man. Carlos!
Man, I told you he was gonna fuck everything up.
Quit being a crybaby, man. I didn't hurt you.
He's right, Steve. He's just messing around. Just be cool. Enjoy the atmosphere. The theme of bullying plays a really interesting role in Rich Kids. So Matt's role, I think, in terms of bullying between Carlos and Steve, is to be a buffer. He defends Steve, he tries to build Steve up and make him more confident so that he can face Carlos himself. But I think he reaches a point where he can no longer sustain this and keep kind of being Steve's support system. But I think with the breaking in and like finally getting with Vanessa and like having this great party and kind of being on top of the world, all of this kind of gets to Matt's head, I think. And he decides that he no longer wants to be a victim, and he kind of sides with Carlos and tells Steve to leave if he doesn't like it. And that kind of, that breaks Steve's heart, and I think at that moment ends their friendship. But I think this kind of tends to happen a lot in real life. It's kind of, it's exhausting to constantly stand up for yourself and stand up for others. And it's usually easier to try to side with the bully and get on their good side and not speak up about what they're doing because it's safer. You're on somebody's good side who normally, would be beating the crap out of you. And so I think Matt, in that moment, during the dinner scene, I think that's where he decides to take the easy way out. I think he kind of reaches his breaking point, and they just don't really have that support system there to stop the bullying. So it's definitely something that I've seen happen a lot in real life. I can definitely say that I have tried to like befriend the bully. It's kind of that like if you can't beat him, join him mentality, and it kind of saves you a lot of trouble. But it's very temporary, and it doesn't really solve anything because the bully's just going to keep doing what they're doing. So it's a very interesting dynamic that definitely rings true to real life.
How's that? Am I gorgeous?
Stunning.
Just call me Kim. Hurry up, darling. You don't want to be late for the party. Darling, you must come to our country house in the spring. It's gorgeous. Of course, darling, right after I return from my tummy tuck in Brazil. You look really pretty.
The scene where Matt puts on the dress for Vanessa is so important to the film and so unique to me. And it really caught me by surprise, but I thought it was a really beautiful moment because we see that Matt isn't afraid to completely strip down all his barriers with Vanessa. He knows that he has nothing to lose because she's leaving. He's been in love with her forever. He's always had feelings for her. And I think during this time, he's unafraid to express his feelings for her. And I think it's just because, you know, he knows that she's leaving. He's comfortable with her, and he knows that she's not going to judge him because she is so outwardly feminist. You know, she is so argumentative towards the characters in the movie that try to perpetuate sexism, and so he feels like he's comfortable and that that she's going to be accepting of whatever he tells her, or so he hopes. I think it's so interesting that he puts on this dress for her, and it's such a powerful message because toxic masculinity is something that completely plagues us, because we're constantly being told that we're supposed to look a certain way or act a certain way in order to be perceived as men in our society. We're raised to be a certain way, or else we're not masculine, or our manhood is questioned. You know what I mean? But in this moment, I think it's just completely undeniable that he's about to get with a girl. You know, that is what is about to happen. That is what we are leading up to. That's what he's been working towards because he wants to be with this girl. He's about to get everything he's ever wanted, and he's wearing a dress. He's wearing a dress, but that doesn't change what's about to happen. He's wearing a dress, but he's still straight. He's still a male. He's still about to, you know, get with the girl of his dreams. It doesn't change anything, and that's something that I think a lot of people could take from. A lot of people can learn from that moment because we're so afraid to express ourselves and to do certain things or wear certain things because we're going to be judged and we're not going to be seen as manly, you know, and I think it's completely ridiculous. I used to work at a shop, at a little bakery coffee shop place, and we served these like amazing strawberry cupcakes. I watched them make these cupcakes every day. They would like cut the strawberries and like mix them in with the batter, like fresh strawberries and like fresh buttercream icing, and they were just like warm and delicious when they came out of the oven. And I remember a grown man in a suit came into our shop. He got some coffee in the morning and he wanted to get a cupcake. And I was like, hey, you should try these strawberry cupcakes. They just came out of the oven. And he was like, no. He's like, they're pink, so like I don't want anything pink. And I was like, what? Like, are you serious? A grown man is scared to eat a pink cupcake because it's pink? Because of how it's going to be, you know, seen by other people? You know, it's just completely ridiculous that some people go their entire lives being told to be a certain way because of their genitalia, and then they're completely afraid to eat a cupcake. Like it creates insecure individuals. That's all it does. And so I think the scene where Matt is wearing a dress completely breaks all of that down, because he's wearing a dress, but nobody's making fun of him, nobody's laughing at him, nobody's questioning his sexuality or his masculinity, and he's completely accepted in that moment. And it's awesome. I think it's amazing, and I think a lot of people laugh, you know, during that scene, but nobody at that moment questions whether he's a man or not. So in that same scene where Matt wears a dress and is about to be intimate with Vanessa, they have this moment of nonverbal consent when he's about to go under her dress. He kind of gives her a look and waits for her to respond, and she gives him a nod, and then he continues. That's consent. That is outright, completely, 100% consent. And it's something so important and something that so many people need to see happen on the screen in a realistic circumstance. I think a lot of people just are confused about it, young people at least, because it's not something that we talk about a lot. It's not something that anyone ever really sat me down and spoke to me about. And it's something that realistically doesn't always happen verbally. You don't always look at each other and say, are we about to have sex? Yes, we are about to have sex. Do I have your consent to have sex with you? Yes, you have my consent. Like, that's not always how it happens, but consent is very real, and it's something that does need to happen before people carry out sexual acts. I think the way that we filmed that scene was very responsible. I think we handled it with a lot of care and a lot of respect. You know, we took it slow. We did everything that we needed to do to make sure that we were both me and Michelle were comfortable filming the scene and comfortable in that setting. But I think that same care and attention and respect needs to take place when young people are being intimate with each other. I think young people need to see more of that and need to be exposed to a realistic portrayal of two people confirming with each other what they're doing and being comfortable with it, so that they know what it looks like, so that they know what it's supposed to be like. I think it's extremely important for young people to know those cues, because if not, then they are going to abuse each other. They're going to end up in situations that they don't want to be in, and they're not going to know how to express that they don't want to be there. Because it's not always easy to just outright say no, and it's not always easy to just outright say yes. You know, sometimes it takes nonverbal communication, and it takes people fully understanding that and being mature enough to understand that. I think it can do a lot of damage for people if they don't understand consent and understand what it means to be fully able to communicate that. It's kind of funny, but like, the stuff that inspires me is usually, it's kind of a bummer. I think a lot of the things that I really love in cinema are just things that are not wrapped up in a tidy bow, things that don't have like a happy ending all the time. I think it comes from not wanting to be lied to. I think it's inherent in my, you know, in my being to search for truth, and I think I just really appreciate cinema that is very truthful. I'm such a new age kid, I think, because I'm first generation American, so I didn't really grow up watching a lot of like American television and American movies, and so that kind of influenced my taste in film, because I kind of had to find everything on my own. And I think later on in life, when I started sitting down and appreciating movies as works of art, is when I really, you know, hit my stride and started finding the things that I really loved and related to. Like I love the movie Blue Valentine, because it's just such an imperfect relationship between two people. It's such a hard, difficult, just abrasive relationship between two people. I think it's a realistic portrayal of love and hardship. Lady Bird, which just came out, super good. I've seen the movie like 9 times. Columbus, which was Kogonada's like directing debut, amazing, with Haley Lu Richardson and John Cho. That movie's amazing. I've seen that movie like 5 times. Beginners with Ewan McGregor and Melanie Laurent, so good. That movie I've seen like 10 times. I watch that movie sometimes while I eat breakfast for no reason. It's just so good. I find myself just like really loving like romance films that are just untidy, realistic, complicated portrayals of what love really is and what it means to be in love as a young person. Before I Disappear, such a good movie. I love that movie because Sean Christensen is a baller. He wrote that movie, he directed it, he acted in it, and one of the songs in the movie is by his band that he's the lead singer of. So like that man is just a jack of all trades, and I just appreciate his filmmaking. It's like such a cool adventure that they go on, and it really tackles like that brother sister love that I relate to heavily because I have an older sister, and so I just like really appreciate that movie, and I've seen that movie many times. So one of my like biggest Latino idols would have to be Alejandro González Iñárritu. He is just an amazing director, filmmaker. I mean, his films have won like 5 Academy Awards. He directed Birdman, which is just like such a weird and unique, just like fast paced and then like slow paced at the same time. Just like, I don't know how to explain it. It's such a good movie, and it's like unlike anything I've ever seen. Of course, he did The Revenant, which was like insane, just complete madness that they put their heart into, 100%. Yeah, I'm just really inspired by him, and just like, I don't know, even just like the little things about him, just like seeing him in interviews. He has this like heavy accent that he doesn't try to hide, and like people listen to him. He has a voice, and it's a very powerful voice, and I'm just really inspired by him. I think someday like my dream would be to work with a director like David Cianfrance. He directed Blue Valentine. He directed and wrote that movie, and he was just so committed to this project, so committed to this piece of work that he wanted to get done, that he gave the actors the scripts 6 years before they started filming the movie, and he was excited, and he was willing to wait, and he was willing to put all of this work into his movie. And that's something that I just appreciate so much, and I appreciate someone with patience. I appreciate someone who's willing to take their time and let you have your moments. I just like I watched a lot of their like deleted scenes and a lot of the moments where he just kind of let the actors improv and just kind of documented this journey that they went on. I think it's an amazing skill to have as a director, to just trust your actors, be patient, let the cameras roll, and just let them develop a relationship on camera, and just kind of be themselves and be open with each other. It takes a lot of patience, and I think it would just be super cool to have that and to work with a director like that. So yeah, that's all I got. Rich Kids the movie, man, completely changed my life, and I'm so excited for everybody to see it. Follow us on Instagram at Rich Kids the movie. We're also on the internet. We have a website called richkidsthemovie.com. Follow us on Seed and Spark if you want to help us unlock some cool prizes. What else? Like us on Facebook. We're on Facebook too. Follow me on Instagram at Gerardo Velasquez, GerVelasquez. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for listening to me ramble about film and stuff. Stay sexy.